over £20,000 a month, around a third of all monthly membership fees. The sum may now be lower and is not now funded by the party. The party also paid Facebook £90,000 in the year of the general election. So what of the future? Senior figures are split, supporting rival campaigns for leaving the European Union, both vying to be the official Leave campaign. Nigel Farage is determined it'll be grassroots out rather than rivals vote Leave that win that designation, which will be announced this week. One donor who is still giving to UKIP, £50,000 to the Welsh campaign last week, is Aaron Banks, a key figure in Grassroots Out. We've been told by numerous sources that Nigel Farage wants to restructure and revamp UKIP after the referendum, and that they think Aaron Banks would be chairman of a rebranded party.
I didn't say rebrand as much, but change our modus operandi completely. I have watched the Five Star Movement in Italy. You know, basically an online party where people can join for modest sums of money, but have a say in choosing direction of the party. A sense that the old membership models are a bit outdated.
His critics think he extends that view to the NEC. His supporters say such a digital model would also make this troublesome body for Mr Farage redundant and let him take back control of a party that right now is far from at ease with itself.
And we're joined now in the studio by Neil Hamilton. He's the former Deputy Chairman of UKIP. He's hoping to become one of the party's first members of the Welsh Assembly. Welcome to the programme.
Thank you, Andrew.
Now, UKIP was created to bring about a referendum on the EU. You've got one. Why is the party in such chaos?
Well, you're absolutely right. It's a fantastic achievement for UKIP to have brought this referendum to the people of Britain. But, you know, UKIP has grown up very rapidly in the last few years. It's only in the last 4 or 5 years that it's become a mainstream political party as opposed to a fringe grouping. And I suppose these are the growing pains of such a party. It's basically about sort of jockeying for position, and you get these kind of personal feuds in all parties. I mean, I lived through the Major government and the Thatcher government where we saw it in spades. I mean, this is nothing compared with what I experienced in the Conservative Party.
Well, a crucial issue that's exposed the division within the party is which of the rival campaigns should get the official designation from the Electoral Commission. Which one do you want to get it?
Well, I've taken a neutral position all along because we have to work with whoever gets designation. And I'm a great admirer of Aaron Banks. He's made a fantastic contribution to this.
But it can only be one.
But exactly, he is Nigel's preferred vehicle.
No, I know that, Nigel. I'm asking your view. Are you not going to give us a view?
I'm ambivalent. I will unite behind whoever gets the designation. The Electoral Commission will announce its decision in the coming week. So this will be an argument that lies in the past.
Okay, well, you're not going to tell me. How much trouble is there between Mr Farage and the party's ruling National Executive Committee?
Well, Nigel's a member of the NEC. He's a frequent attender at it. Just because he's the party leader and because he's a very strong and dominant individual without whom UKIP would not be where it is today, it doesn't mean that he gets his way automatically on everything. We have arguments. We're a democratic party, and the NEC is a vigorous forum for debate. And I think that's a very healthy situation.
Do you think he's going to try and change that after the referendum? There's going to be some of a Farage coup on the NEC?
Well, just because you read it in the newspapers doesn't mean it's true, of course.
Well, it can sometimes.
It can sometimes. I'm afraid that I have no window into Nigel's mind on this. He hasn't discussed it with me. In fact, I've not seen anybody who knows anything about this apart from whoever wrote the piece in the Huffington Post.
Should he continue as leader?
Well, he was elected as leader only 2 years ago for a 5-year term. So he can go on for another 3 years before facing re-election.
That's the process. I'm asking for your view. Should he continue as leader?
I think that he will continue as leader beyond the referendum. The world after the referendum will be a very different kettle of fish. I don't know what his ambitions will then be.
I'm not asking about his ambition. I'm asking your view. Should he continue as leader after the referendum?
Well, I think there will be a widespread re-evaluation of where UKIP is after the referendum. We are going to win seats in the Welsh Assembly, in the Scottish Parliament and in the Northern Ireland Assembly. We will then have a significant cohort of elected representatives in various parliamentary institutions.
I understand all that. Let me try one more time.
Yeah.
After the referendum, should he step down? Should there be a new leader, in your view?
Now, I'm not going to call for Nigel to stand down. I'm perfectly certain that if there were an election for UKIP leader now, the party members would vote for Nigel overwhelmingly. So this, I think, is a non-issue.
When was the last time you spoke to him?
Several weeks ago when he came to the NEC meeting last month.
I mean, you used to be great mates, didn't you? I mean, he kind of brought you into
Well, we
the
still are
party.
great mates.
Are you?
It's like a married couple who've been together for quite a long time. You have your ups and downs. You know, he throws the china at me, I pick it up and put it back on the mantelpiece, and then we carry on as though
It's a
nothing
bit
had
more than
happened.
China. He blocked you from standing in last year's general election. You were moved as deputy chairman in February. Reportedly, he wanted you off the candidates list in Wales. I mean, that's all part of the division in chaos, the Farage-Hamilton dynamic, isn't it?
It's not a division. UKIP is a live political institution. You know, people have
bashes
different
itself
ambitions.
all the time.
There are personality feuds and difficulties. I don't think that we lose anything by saying that we are normal, red-blooded individuals and have the same kind of tiffs that other parties have. UKIP is strengthened by these kinds of
Really? Very
scraps,
well.
I
You heard
think.
some of the emails there about you. Does it disturb you that some UKIP members regard you as a controversial, even a toxic figure in the party?
Well, I mean, this is all exaggerated, and it's just tittle-tattle. I mean, that was one email amongst many, many thousands of emails I've had.
Well, there
from
were
Mick
several
McGough over the
emails, and
years.
every article said one fellow UKIP candidate, the U Future, your name has the appendage disgraced former Tory MP, and sadly this will continue.
Well, the party members don't seem to be too bothered about that because they voted for me in overwhelming numbers to be the lead candidate for UKIP in the Welsh Assembly in my region in Wales. I topped the poll in the national executive elections with twice the number of votes of my nearest rival and the highest number of votes that anybody's ever got in an NEC election.
They're even attacking you for
just because-
claiming expenses. I mean, I'd have thought that may have been a lesson learned on that issue.
That was an entire misrepresentation, and the innuendo was entirely dismissed after an internal investigation. So, what you're
So you
doing,
didn't claim for staying at your wife's place?
I'm not going to go into what I did claim for and what I didn't claim for in my expenses when I was the UKIP campaign director in the European elections. I had a pay package which was agreed, and all my pay and expenses were legitimate. But you know, the key point here is that UKIP is now a major player in the land. We are going to elect between 7 and 10 members to the Welsh Assembly.
No, you've said that, and you hope to be one of them. I've got one final question for you. Would you ever see yourself as the future leader of UKIP?
What, at my age and your age, Andrew? We are contemporaries. No, I don't see myself as a future leader of UKIP at all.
Well, that's clear enough. Thank you, Neil Hamilton.